Hello. I read The Five Dysfunctions of a Team a while back and wanted to quickly go through some takeaways I got from the book, a few actionable items that I, as someone who is not on an executive team, but on a team nevertheless, can do. He lists dysfunctions to avoid. I'm going to go through things to do. So, the first of those is to allow vulnerability, trust. We gotta trust our teammates to be able to have debates about things we disagree about. We gotta feel like it's a safe space to share our opinions and not be ridiculed. To be able to share our weaknesses and our mistakes without feeling bad, to feel vulnerable. The author defines trust in this context as, and quote unquote, the confidence among team members that their peers' intentions are good and that there is no reason to be protective or careful around the group. And I think that sums it up really well. And to facilitate this, one point he mentions is it's not a good idea to zone out on your laptop all the time. And this is very tempting. I'm guilty of this myself, but we should feel free to speak up if the conversation is something that can be taken offline. So if it's a big meeting, it really should discuss big matters. And if anything can be taken offline, it should be so that everyone is as engaged as possible and we're not wasting everyone's time. And again, this is a topic for a whole discussion, but just a brief idea on that. The second thing is to engage in conflict. It's important to engage in conflict to be able to. Everyone must feel free to voice their opinion about stuff because that's what leads to good stuff. And conflict's always going to be uncomfortable. We got to get used to the discomfort because if it's not uncomfortable, then it's not real. And I know this stuff might seem obvious, but it's really important. And you need to have trust to be able to engage in conflict, right? And the next thing as well is the third point is weigh in before buy in. And I really like this one that you have to share your opinion. You have to feel like people, your team is listening to you and considering your opinion before you can buy in. And maybe your opinion will not be the one that's selected at the end or the one that the team goes with, but it was considered, it was discussed, and at that point you'll feel more comfortable going through with things and really putting your all into it. Because if you don't share your opinion throughout the project or whatever, you would feel like, oh my god, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? And that wouldn't be the case if you weigh in first. The fourth thing is to feel okay to call peers out for accountability. And this one's a little hard. You don't want to call out people because you don't want to seem rude, but this is important. Um, it's important for the team to keep moving in the direction that they're moving and to keep people accountable to what they said they would do. And again, you have to have trust, you have to be able to engage in conflict, and you have to weigh in before you buy in to be able to do this, to be able to easily and freely do this with your peers. The last thing, the last point is that the team's needs need to be over individual needs, and I'm a little iffy about this one. It's got to be a fine balance. But what the author mentions is that if you want to win alone, if you want the singular win, you won't make it. You have to want the win for the team, and that makes sense. You got to keep moving in the direction the team's moving on. And a related point is that we got to have actionable goals that drive the entire team towards a specific goal, so that there aren't individual egos about what someone did and what someone didn't. So overall, I get what he says here. Individual needs are still gonna be like you still care about your own progress, your own career, but I really do see the point here where your team's needs should come before individual needs for the team to keep going forward. And that's all. 5 points: allow vulnerability and trust, engage in conflict, weigh in before buy in, feel okay to call peers out for accountability, and team needs over individual needs.